Welcome back to the Fun Astrology Podcast. Thomas Miller on Tuesday, November 30th, our last day of November. We are going to talk about December today. I thought I wanted to get to it yesterday, but boy, just wanted to get that Eris thing out there because it is something that we need to be locking into our consciousness. Glad you came back for more today. We will talk about the month of December. And not to belabor that darkness kind of that hung over our time together yesterday, we begin with Eris square to Pluto and Venus. And how long does that square last? Well, because Pluto and Eris move so slowly, we're talking even to hit an 8-degree movement off of that square all the way to 2024. Now, when was that square exact? Now, this is what's significant. There were some retrogrades, so it bounced back and forth for over about a year and a half, but January 26th, 2020, right as COVID was becoming a word in our vernacular. If you kind of put the pieces together, the headlines that we experienced over the weekend and the realities that we are experiencing now as a result kind of fit, sadly. I mean, if you think about when is this going to be over? There's some new light. Like I said, I've got to do a lot of processing. Okay, I have several dates in December circled. First of all, let's circle December 4th. That's this Saturday. What is that? That's the solar eclipse. So we'll be talking about that. That happens in Sagittarius. Another date that if you want to mark that I think is really significant is December 15th. The reason is, first of all, we're going to have another aspect with Eris. It will trine the sun, but more importantly on that day, Mars conjoins the south node of the moon, which makes it opposite to the north node. So here we have this solar eclipse, and then a week and a half later, we have Mars sitting on the south node of the moon, totally asking us to release things that aren't serving us. Then 3 days later, Mercury squares Chiron. And then the following Wednesday, circle another date, December 22nd, the nodes change signs. South node goes into Scorpio, North node goes into Taurus. Boy, will we have a lot to talk about right before Christmas. And then Saturn squares Uranus for the third time this year on December 24th. And then on Christmas Day, Mars is trine to Chiron and Venus is conjunct Pluto. The other big day that I have highlighted is the 28th when Jupiter leaves Aquarius and ingresses back into Pisces. Now that we have this new thing going on with COVID, that becomes a little bit more alarming, in fact, quite a bit more alarming. As Jupiter and Pisces ruled by Neptune, there's the virus connection and the Jupiterian expansion. I'm not predicting, but I'm just saying that energy applied to this mundane situation that we've been in for 2 years portends to possibly expand what we don't want expanded. Again, like we said yesterday, we've got to fight this battle consciously. So the one thing I would say is don't get swept up in fear. Stand confidently in your consciousness and follow your intuition. Now, yesterday we had a couple of trines, and today we have a couple of sextiles, so there's some pretty good energy in the chart today. Yesterday, Mars trined Neptune, and Mercury trined Chiron. I mean, do we not have a spiritual theme going? And today, Venus sextiles Neptune, and Mercury trines Saturn. And the other big thing, tomorrow, Neptune turns direct. Now, when a planet slows down to station, to turn direct, that is when that planet's energy is magnified and amplified to basically stratospheric. It's the most amped up that a planet can be, basically, because it's just sitting there. So Neptune has been slowing. Neptune, you've always got to think of two sides, right? Like with everything. But with Neptune, you have to think of the illusion, the delusion, the fogginess, the lying and deception, basically, and flip that over. Intuition, spiritual alertness, spiritual persuasion, almost like it's drawing you in. Inspired imaginations, amplified, heightened dreams. Have your dreams been more vivid the last couple of weeks? Neptune stationing. It's sitting on top of us cooking. Well, it will take off and go direct beginning tomorrow. So interesting that we have, with so many of these structures, the nodes changing signs, the eclipse, the Saturn squaring Uranus, the Jupiter moving into Pisces, all of these things that are going to be happening this month. And here we are beginning it with this just hyper-uber spiritual theme. I think that is such a gift from the universe that I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, because that is the challenge ahead of us. Are we going to follow the spiritual path? So what's the takeaway of yesterday's podcast and today's, really, if we put these two together? Amp up your spiritual work. Do your South Node work. Start to really explore what karma needs to be resolved. If you want a whole section on this, yes, I would point you to the Astrology 101 course on the Fun Astrology website, because we tackle this very thing. In fact, there's a lot of structure in that course of how you can get a grasp on this astrologically and start to move in that direction. I wish you a great Tuesday. We'll see you back tomorrow for Neptune Direct Day.